If you take the concept of starry eyes, the cinematography of possession, and the body horror of society, or you have this nasty blood-curdling product, the substance. This film is vile, disgusting, and morbid, and it is definitely not for the faint of heart. It is a film that is sure going to divide audiences, but like it or not, it is definitely an experience you're not going to forget anytime soon. I know this film is going to be stuck in my head for a while. The substance is well shot, well written, and very well crafted in every sense, and I'm excited to share and talk about this aggressive, bloody, demented ride, as I believe more people should give it a watch, if you're not squeamish, as what an experience it was. If you're a fan of Cronenberg or body horror in general, I think you soak this one right up. Just be warned, you're probably not going to want to eat before entering the cinema. Just don't do it. You thank me later. Welcome back to my channel, travelers. Filmwego here. I hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are. Today I want to share and talk about a recent body horror film that won the best screenplay at Cannes and received a standing ovation of 13 minutes. And the film I'm talking about is The Substance, an extremely ambitious project that is very relevant in today's society, as it touches on the idea of ageism, body perfection, and the fear of being alone, while turning into probably the year's goriest and most unhinged bloody experience you see this year. But even underneath its body horror nastiness, it is also quite funny at times. This film is directed by Coralie, Fargeat, who gave us Revenge, which I haven't seen but only heard good things about. So now I'm going to have to hunt down that film when I have time, as I'm thoroughly impressed by what she was able to achieve in The Substance. Here The Substance doesn't hold back, it goes all out, and if that is something you're looking for in a film, this is the one to check out. So without further ado, get your tickets ready and let's dive in. Let's start with a brief synopsis first. An aging celebrity, Elizabeth Sparkle, finds herself slowly fading into the background. One day she's invited to test out a black market drug, a drug that promises and allows her to be the younger, better version of herself. However, there's a catch. She must alternate between her younger self and her original self every 7 days, otherwise there are dire consequences. There's a lot to like about this film. From the opening scene, you're quickly glued and hypnotized to the screen as you watch an egg being injected with a bright green serum that resembles Mountain Dew. Soon the egg begins to sizzle and out pops an additional yolk. It was a great opening that sets up what to come and expect, and I was intrigued. Immediately I was lured into the world of madness, but what allowed this film to build on its disconcerting atmosphere and nastiness was its fantastic, and I mean some of the most impressive prosthetic and makeup design I've seen. Its utilization of eerie, spacious cinematography, unsettling, spine-tingling sound design, and terrific acting from the actors. Seriously, I'm not joking when I say it is a difficult watch, as everything is so in your face. Although there's a lot to like about this film, I did feel the runtime a tad bit, as it did run almost 2 hours and 30 minutes, which I didn't think it needed to. I also personally wasn't a fan of the ending. I know lots of people are probably going to love its bombastic ending, as it is literally bloody carnage to the max, but personally it just wasn't for me. But in the end, as a whole, I enjoyed the sickening ride immensely. Let's first start the prosthetic design and makeup, as they're remarkable. You know they succeeded and did their job correctly when it makes your stomach churn. I've seen plenty of body horrors, from The Fly to Slither, even to The Gross Out Society, which I found to be one of the nastiest body horror films ever made, but none of them even come close to what The Substance has to offer. Here you feel every bit of the body modification, the shift and change of the body, the sticky icky of it, the gooey and sliminess, and the agony of the characters as they go through such change. Everything is so in your face and aggressive, it doesn't hold back whatsoever. It is so gross and effective, and I loved it. I also absolutely loved the unnerving cinematography of The Substance. Watching it reminded me of Andrzej Zulawski's Possession in some form of ways. Just like Possession, The Substance utilizes both extreme close-ups and wide and medium shots to capture the discomfort. Whenever a character uses the Gatorade-looking substance, or whenever we see the aftermath of taking such a drug, extreme close-ups are always used. I was put so up close to the characters that I wasn't given space to breathe, to the point you just want the camera to move away from a main character, but it never does. The closeness allows you to feel every bit of the character, her obsession with her youthful body, but also her full-blown disgust as she reverts back to her normal self. You feel every inch of it, every touch, every sensation, to the point where it's emotions and sweat that's leaking out of the screen. However, the film also chooses to utilize medium shots or wide shots whenever a character is going through day-to-day life, which is an extreme contrast when you compare it to an extreme close-up. The jarring difference adds fuel to the unease, but what makes the medium and wide shots so uncomfortable to watch is the way they're framed. There's so much empty space in the background, it almost feels so hollow at times you can hear the echo going off in your head. However, the scenes are filled with enough going on that they don't come off as flat. It doesn't help either that the character is always placed in obscure positions, never somewhere where it's soothing to the eyes, but places like the side of the frame, just barely enough for the viewers to see the characters. The cinematography can be seen as a perfect choice that adds to the nightmare. The camera movement might not be as frantic as Possession, but it is certainly effective. The sound design is something that I also have to talk about, as I don't think I've seen a film where the sound is so heightened and amplified and so masterfully done. Every sound that you normally hear in your day-to-day life is turned up a few notches within the film, to the point where hearing them makes you feel sick, and you literally can't quite hear those sounds the same way again. Near the beginning, there's a great scene that perfectly captures what to expect if you decide to stick around and find out. The scene involves Dennis Quaid, who plays a producer in A Creep. We see him discussing with Elizabeth Sparkle in a restaurant about her future, where he explains to her that after 50, her career basically expires, and that they're looking for someone who's around the age of 18 to 30. While all this is happening, we get extreme close-up of Dennis munching and gnawing on shrimps, but the real kicker here is the sound design. We hear every rip and tear of the shrimp, every crunch, every bite, the spray of the shrimp juice, the grinding of the teeth. Everything's completely intensified, making me completely agitated. Now imagine that when combined with the body horror aspect. Imagine hearing every thread of the needle as you hear the skin sew shut together, or the sound of blood or liquid being squeezed out of the tube vividly, or needles being injected into the body as the sound of pus oozes out. It's disgusting. You're completely transported there of the characters, forced to hear every inch of it. It is that effective. The Substance also utilizes abrasive sound effects throughout the film that hint or foreshadow the oncoming danger. It is eerie and unsettling in every sense, as it lingers long around even after it dissipates, leaving you wondering what horror the film has up its sleeve. The acting was also top notch. Demi Moore is terrific. I have to say I haven't seen many of her films. However, I can tell this is probably the best performance she has given in her career, as she goes all out. Playing this role is no easy feat, as you literally have to give your all, and I can say Demi Moore does just that. Watching her in every scene, I felt emotionally drained, and I wasn't even the one who was acting. She embodied the role so well throughout the film, I felt completely hopeless and hollow, just like her character. Being able to portray the character she was given was emotionally demanding to another level, and I think she nailed it. And the same applies to Margaret Qualley's character, who plays the younger perfect version of Demi Moore, and whose role is equally exhausting. She's just as terrific. So yeah, kudos to both actresses for playing such a challenging role, cause such a role could easily break you as it is so mentally draining. Dennis Quaid is also great as the creepy producer. He's a complete delight to watch. Although not given a lot of screen time, he kills it whenever he's on the screen as this over-the-top, exaggerated, cartoonish character. So yeah, everyone delivered first-rate performance, and their effort alone is worth the ticket entry. There's plenty to like about The Substance, and plenty of praise I want to give this film, as Coralie Fargeat crafted a cinematic experience unlike anything I've seen before in cinema, and for the first 2/3 of the film, I was completely on board. However, the direction and the ending kinda lost me. Watching this film, it seems that director Coralie Fargeat had a few endings in her mind, and she couldn't quite decide which one she wanted to omit, so she decided to incorporate a few of them. The film could have ended in a way that would have left me satisfied. However, it decided to keep pushing onto its grand finale, which is honestly one of the most unhinged endings I've seen, to the point where some might even call it a gorefest masterpiece, and I can see plenty of viewers completely loving it, as it is completely bonkers and insane. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but there was so much blood it made the shining elevator scene look like child's play. However, underneath the bloodshed, something was missing. It didn't deliver the same shock factor as the first 2/3 of the film. It was way too outrageous and over the top that I just couldn't take the ending seriously. Instead of feeling disgusted, I was just completely numb and lost and didn't quite feel anything. I wish the ending had remained more grounded, like the first 2/3 of the film, as honestly I found it to be way more effective, as it wasn't blowing up its bloodshed in your face. It's the oozing dread that the first half achieved that disturbed me. The ending lacks that, as all it screams is blood and nothing else. If you love complete utter bloody carnage, you're going to have the ride of your life. However, the ending just didn't quite land for me. Despite an ending that didn't quite sit right with me, and the film being a tad long, I had an absolute blast watching this nightmarish dystopian unfold, from the exceptional prosthetic and makeup design, and the haunting cinematography, to the unnerving sound design and powerhouse acting from all three leads. This is an experience I sure won't forget anytime soon. After having seen plenty of body horror, I can most definitely say The Substance is one of the gnarliest, most gruesome, and most effective of them all. You're not gonna find another body horror that achieves what this film manages. Watching this whole film, I was sick to the stomach, and that's how you know the film has successfully done its job. I can't praise enough how horrific this film looks, and that more people should check it out. So yeah, travelers, looking for your next demented ride? Well, look no further than your nearest cinema, as I'm sure this nasty treat will satisfy that little bloodthirsty craving of yours. Once again, just don't eat before or while watching this film. Have you seen The Substance? Do you plan to see it? If you did, what did you think of it? Comment below and let me know. And as always, subscribe for your next travel ticket.